Fair Use Daily Reflections. This is a book of reflections by AA members for AA members. September 11. Making amends. Above all, we should try to be absolutely sure that we are not delaying because we are afraid. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 87. To have courage, to be unafraid are gifts of my recovery. They empower me to ask for help and to go forth in making my amends with a sense of dignity and humility. Making amends may require a certain amount of honesty that I feel I lack, yet, with the help of God and the wisdom of others, I can reach within and find the strength to act. My amends may be accepted, or they may not, but after they are completed, I can walk with a sense of freedom and know that for today, I am responsible. Courage to Change One Day at a Time in Al-Anon, September 11th. During the entire process of working on my fourth step, making a searching and fearless moral inventory of myself, I felt a nagging suspicion that I wasn't doing it right. With my higher power's help, I finally realized that the problem wasn't that I had done my fourth step wrong. The fact was that I had the same sense of inadequacy about my whole life. Whatever I'm doing, I'm inclined to feel that I am doing it wrong, that my best is not good enough, and that it is simply not true. I am doing just fine. The awareness that I have developed through step 4 puts my self-doubt into perspective. It's just an effect of years of living with problem drinkers. So when the feeling comes up, I recognize it, share about it, accept that I feel it, and then set it aside. I no longer assume that it has any validity. Today's reminder. Step 4 offers me a chance to find some balance. It helps me to identify the things I've been telling myself about myself and to learn whether or not those things are true. Today I will take one of my assumptions about myself and hold it up to the light. I may find that it stems from habit rather than reality. There is a quote from The Dilemma of the Alcoholic Marriage, and it reads, "Let me realize that self-doubt and self-hate are defects of character that hinder my growth." Just for today, Daily Meditations for Recovering Addicts, September 11th. Bend with the wind. We learn to become flexible as new things are revealed. We feel renewed. Basic text, page 102. Flexibility was not a part of the vocabulary we used in our using days. We'd become obsessed with the raw pleasure of our drugs and hardened to all the softer, subtler, more infinitely varied pleasures of the world around us. Our disease had turned life itself into a constant threat of jails, institution, and death, a threat against which we hardened ourselves all the more. In the end, we became brittle. With the merest breath of life's wind, we crumbled at last, broken, defeated, with no choice but to surrender. But the beautiful irony of recovery is that in our surrender, we found the flexibility we had lost in our addiction, the very lack of which had defeated us. We regained the ability to bend in life's breeze without breaking. When the wind blew, we felt its loving caress against our skin, where once we would have hardened ourselves as if against the onrush of a storm. The winds of life blow new airs our way each moment, and with them new fragrances, new pleasures, varied, subtly different. As we bend with life's wind, we feel and hear and touch and smell and taste all it has to offer. And as new winds blow, we feel renewed. Just for today, higher power, help me bend with life's wind and glory in its passing. Free me from rigidity. Today, Emotions Anonymous, September 11th. Reflection for today. Learning to love ourselves is possibly our greatest task. For most of us, to really care for ourselves and to become vulnerable takes a very long time. We struggle so often with the knowledge of our inadequacies, fear, guilt, and shame. We tell ourselves, I will never be accepted if I tell her this. I will accept myself when. We cannot put off acceptance until we meet our criteria for ourselves. Likely that time will never come. We need to accept ourselves right now with our weaknesses. Our weaknesses, when faced, will lead us to untapped strength. And we never will truly gain someone's acceptance unless we risk being vulnerable. Meditation for today. With your help, I will accept myself today just as I am. Today I will remember acceptance and love go hand in hand. Because I am lovable, I can love someone and I can accept love. Strengthening my recovery. Meditations for adult children of alcoholics, dysfunctional families. September 11th. Spiritual experience. Who would have thought that talking, trusting, and feeling would equal a spiritual experience? But it does for adult children. We felt this new spirituality in our breathing and in the sense that we could face life on life's terms. BRB, page 285. It seems rather simple. Show up at a meeting, listen, share, and go home. These basic acts of self-care bring significant changes to our lives. When we make time in our day to attend a meeting, we practice self-love. When we give each other attention, we show each other that we care. When we listen quietly, attentively, and respectfully, we become witnesses of another person's growth and our own. When we feel comfortable enough to share our recovery story, we demonstrate trust in the group. When we make an effort to accept the space we are in, we display our own vulnerability and move forward. These simple acts of self-care yield a spiritual experience that far outweighs our efforts. Our fellow ACAs listen with empathy without interrupting our process, and they witness our spiritual experience too. As we learn to trust and surrender to the process, memories or feelings surface from beneath the weight of the now crumbling false self. We become free to breathe, to take positive, simple steps as we heal and truly live our lives. The affirmation reads, on this day I take simple steps to practice self-care so that I may experience the spiritual nature of my recovery. Please share, subscribe, like, and most of all, be the you that you are created to be. To remember that you are not alone and that recovery is possible one day at a time.